More details emerge from which way the AM Racing Hailie Deegan situation might be going, and Rodney Childers might actually be joining Josh Berry at the Wood Brothers. Let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. Hope you had a good 4th of July as well. All right. Details are starting to emerge from the AM Racing Hailie Deegan situation where Joey Logano, in case you're not aware of the situation, Joey Logano is going to be filling in for her at the Chicago Street Course in the Xfinity Series race, which will be happening today because I guess this video will release in the morning. But we've got some more details on that. NASCAR prophecy drawing attention to the fact that Hailie Deegan has removed AM Racing from her Twitter bio. I don't know if she's upset about Joey Logano racing her car this weekend or they're going their separate ways. So there you go. Either way, and we'll get into it here in just a minute, whether she left or whether AM Racing got rid of her. We'll talk about both scenarios here in a minute, but let's get Kenny Wallace's opinion on it to see whether or not he thinks she's going to come back for another race, because that was the situation before this. A lot of people were saying, hey, Joey Logano is just going to jump in that car and they're going to see where the car is at going forward to see if it was the car or if it was the driver. Kenny Wallace had some strong opinions on it. Let's hear what he had to say.
Opinion on Hailie Deegan to somebody in the timeline. And so, yeah, Hailie's on her last leg, damn it. I'm a big fan of her. But anytime those teams go, we're going to put Joey Logano in the car to evaluate our equipment, that means she's gone. I hate that for her because I like her, and I like her whole family.
So there you go. He definitely thinks she's gone. She's out of the car. She won't be back. And her unfollowing them on Twitter, I think that's pretty much evidence that she won't be back. The only question that remains now is, did she leave the team because of the performance in her opinion, or did the team tell her that they're going in a different direction? And really, it doesn't matter one way or the other except for the purpose of telling the narrative. If the narrative is that AM Racing let her go, then in that situation, Hailie Deegan would be free to basically pursue, without any type of baggage or anything like that, another ride, which I'm sure she's going to pursue another ride anyway. But in that particular situation, AM Racing would let her go. They would be the ones that were sort of like the bad guys for letting her go. The other side of the coin is there was speculation that she got her crew chief fired. She's not happy with the AM Racing equipment. There is a possibility that she decided that, hey, I'm just going to be done with the rest of this season. I don't think this equipment is competitive, and we're just going to go and see which direction we go in next season. In that particular situation, I think that would put her sort of in a little bit of a negative light, whereas, you know, in the other situation, AM Racing would sort of be the dark hat in that particular deal. Just slight differences in how it would be perceived depending on what actually happened. But one thing is for sure, all this is happening because the results aren't there. She hasn't had the results since she moved to the Truck Series. So although things started off really bright in K&N, she hasn't really had the results since moving on from K&N, ARCA, and all that, so on and so forth. But that being said, with Cole Custer possibly being linked to the Haas factory team in the Cup Series next year, and Riley Herbst being linked to several other teams in the Cup Series, there is a good chance that at least one, if not two, open seats will be over there at the Haas Xfinity Series team. That could easily be a situation where you see Hailie Deegan slide in over there, because obviously SHR was helping out AM Racing. If a seat opened up over there, and maybe that's actually what all this is about. Maybe Hailie Deegan saw a seat over there opening up. She's not performing well and doing what she thinks she should be doing at AM Racing. Maybe she just cut this season short, and she's just going to go over there and race at the Haas factory team racing now in the Xfinity Series as well. So interesting stuff going on over there. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know, but it is interesting. She did unfollow him, so it looks like it's over with. I don't think she will be back in the car for the rest of this season, but let me know down in the comments. Do you think she'll be back in the car or not? And I did think about this too as well. We also will find out if she's not going to be back in the car. They will put somebody else in the car, and we will find out if that person can't run any better than she's running. We know it was the equipment. If that person runs better than she's running, we'll know it wasn't the equipment. So that will be, we'll figure out if it was the equipment or not as the season goes on and into next season as well.
First and foremost, right, that decision is ultimately going to be the Wood Brothers and Team Penske's, and they're gonna look internally and maybe externally for what's going to be the best fit for this program. to work alongside with the 2 car, the 12 car, the 22 car. But yeah, I've had a great relationship with Rodney, and Rodney is going to meet with them, and it's going to come down to, all of those things put together. Everyone deserves a fair opportunity at it. I know that they're going to look through it and talk amongst themselves and make the best decision, and really that's what it's going to come down to. So, for me, they were very clear that before we started those discussions, they wanted my commitment to drive the race car. That way they knew who the driver was going to be, that way they could go to work and put in the personnel around me that I needed to be successful. And honestly, I feel like that's a pretty fair approach when you think about it. So that was where their mindset is, where we haven't had a ton of discussions about that. But now that I'm going to be the driver of the 21, we've announced that we're going to move forward in those discussions with whoever Team Penske and the Wood brothers feel like we need to talk to, and they'll make the best decision for me, and I'm confident in that.
So there you go. That was Josh Berry from Sirius XM Satellite, basically saying that Rodney Childers is going to have an interview to get the crew chiefing job at the Wood brothers number 21. Kind of weird that I guess it's a formality or something, but to me, it would be just that. It would just be a formality. I don't know why you would even have to come in there and vet him and put him through this process anyway, because I'm just going to throw these numbers out here to you. Since 2014, we're in 2024, since 2014, so we'll just make it the good 11 year. We'll make it nice and tidy there, 2014 to 2024, right? Since those two time frames, here are the Wood brothers numbers. 1 win and 2 playoff appearances where they finished 9th place and 13th place in that 11-year span, okay? That's what they've done in that 11-year span. In that same 11-year span, now granted, Rodney Childers was with Kevin Harvick, but with Kevin Harvick at Stewart-Haas Racing, he scored 37 wins, I want to say, off the top of my head, and he's got himself a championship. And let's just go through, and he made the playoffs each and every single one of those years. So let's go through those playoff appearances. Obviously, the first place. Then the next year, they finished in 2nd. Then there was an 8th. Then there was a 3rd. Then there was a 3rd. Then there was a 3rd. Then there was a 5th. Then there was a 5th. And then more recently, of course, a 15th and a 13th for Rodney Childers. So if you just stack those two numbers together, I don't think it should be an issue performance-wise. If they want to bring him in, if they want a good crew chief, Rodney Childers is your guy. So I don't think numbers or anything like that would actually be any type of hang-up. What possibly could be the hang-up is this. Does Rodney Childers want to keep that 4 team together? Is he trying to bring all of his guys over there? Is that possibly what the hold-up on this whole deal could be? Obviously, all throughout the offseason, Josh Berry and Rodney Childers have talked about they want to keep that 4 team together, and they want it to all go one place or the other. Is that possibly what's holding this up? Wood brothers or maybe Penske doesn't want to displace, or maybe they don't have a place to put all of these guys. But that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. They need to just go ahead and get over that and make this move, because if you can get Rodney Childers and the 4 team to replace whoever they need to replace over there on the 21 car, that's definitely 100% what you have to do, because that is a great team. I just read you off all of those numbers. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I don't even know why you even need to interview him. I would give Rodney Childers whatever he wants. Let him go do his thing, and let him continue to build with Josh Berry. You're basically getting a free run this season with him over there at SHR. You keep that whole team together, bring it over here, and do their thing for the Wood brothers next year. Hopefully get that 100th win. If Harrison Burton can't get it for him himself, he is good at plate tracks, and the Wood brothers are good at plate tracks. So not out of the realm of possibility that Harrison Burton could possibly get a win. And that brings up the other question, where does Harrison Burton go? Is he going back down to Xfinity? Is he going back down to trucks? That's going to be an interesting thing to follow as well. But yeah, interesting news popping off today. That's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, I would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, you know I appreciate you all as well. If you want to leave a question or comment, leave it down in the comment section. I try to get to as many of them as I can. If you want to help out the channel, visit the merch store. We've got sweatshirts, hats, stickers, and t-shirts as well. So help us out if you would like to. If not, also, no big deal, and that's about all I got for you. Enjoy the Xfinity race here today. Thanks for your time. Peace.